السلام عليكم. لا تنسوا الاعجاب بالفيديو والاشتراك في القناة تشجيعا لنا لنستمر بنشر المزيد إن شاء الله.
الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. Ramadan Mubarak to all Muslims. Today, inshallah, we will start a new chapter, that is chapter 3, and we will be talking about Allah is the giver of life. Allah is the giver of life. Al-Muhyi. Al-Muhyi. Allah is the giver of life. Al-Muhyi. Al-Muhyi is an Arabic word which means the giver of life. Where does a chicken come from? It comes from an egg. Where does an egg come from? It comes from a hen. Where does a hen, you can see the pictures of a hen there. Okay, you can see the eggs there. Where does a hen come from? Allah made it out of nothing. Where do you find an apple? Where do you find an apple fruit? It grows on an apple tree. Where does that apple tree come from? It comes from another apple tree. Where does that apple tree come from? Allah created it out of nothing. Allah created it out of nothing. You can ask these questions about all things and try to give an answer. This will show you that everything has a beginning and that everything also has an end, but not so with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He has no beginning, He has no end. Allah is the living one. Allah is the giver of life. When you look at the sky, the sun, the moon, the stars, whom do you think of? Allah. When you see the trees, mountains, birds, and animals, fish, and oceans, whom do you think of? Allah. The answer is obvious. Allah created Adam. Adam was different from animals and plants in many ways. Adam was a man. He was the first man. The animals and the plants cannot think the way we can. They cannot talk, but Adam could do these things. Allah gave him the gift of speech. He gave him the gift of mind to think with. Allah is the giver of life. Who made the whole world? Allah made the beautiful earth. He filled the earth with many beautiful things. Okay, before we go to the questions, we can just look at some of the points. In this topic, or in this chapter, we say we'll be talking about the giver of life. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala being the giver of life. So you are given examples like the chicken and the egg. You are being asked, where does a chicken come from? It comes from an egg. Where does that egg come from? It comes from a chicken. No, it goes like that. When you reach a certain point, you'll say Allah created that chicken or that egg out of nothing. Where does a hen come from? Allah made it out of nothing. So where do you find an apple fruit? So this is the apple fruit. You can see the picture there, and you can see it while it's on the tree. It grows on an apple tree. Where does that apple fruit or that apple tree come from? It comes from another apple tree. It goes like that. You'll reach a point where you'll say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created it out of nothing. So you are told you can ask these questions about all things and try to give an answer. So you can say, who created you? Okay, where do you came from? Where did your parents came from? They were born by your grandparents. It goes like that. You'll reach a certain point where you will go to Adam and you will say Adam was created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah is the giver of life. This will show that everything has a beginning and that everything has an end. So you have a beginning, you have an end. You are born at a certain point and you will die one of the fine days. So that is, your beginning is when you are born and you will die. Okay, but not so with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You cannot compare Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with the human beings or with any other creature. So there is nothing into him, like there is nothing like him. ليس كمثله شيء وهو السميع البصير. So but not so with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He has no beginning, he has no end. Allah is the living one, he is ever living. Allah is the giver of life. When you look at the sky, you see the sun, the moon, the stars. So when you see all this beauty, you will think of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's obvious. Whom do you think of? I think of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because He's the creator. There is no one else who can create such beautiful things up in the sky there. So when you see the trees, the forests and all these big trees, you see flowers, you see mountains, you see birds, you see animals, you see fish in the ocean. You see the ocean itself, how it is, how big it is. You see the so many things, so many creatures living in that sea. Whom do you think of? You think of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah created Adam. So he is our father. He was created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Adam was different from animals. He was different from animals and plants in many ways. So one of the ways that, one, he was a man. Two, he was the first man to be created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Three, he could think while animals and plants could not think. They cannot talk, we can talk. Adam could talk. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave Adam the gift of speech. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him that gift of speaking. You know, he had the power to speak, to describe things, to understand. He gave him the gift of mind to think with. So we as human beings, we are given the gift of thinking. You can think and find out whether this thing is good or bad or like that. Allah is the giver of life. He made the whole world. Allah made the beautiful earth. He filled the earth with many beautiful things. What a wonderful world Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made. So now we go to the questions. Complete the following sentence. Everything has a dash. So everything has an dash. Everything has a beginning. So everything has an end. But not so with dash. But not so with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah is the dash and dash. So the first answer starts with L. The second one starts with O. So Allah is the living one. Living one. Allah is the dash of dash. Allah is the giver of life. Answer the following questions. Write down 3 things you can do but plants cannot do. You can talk, they can't talk. You can think, they can't think. You can walk and move, they can't walk and move. The plants. So who gave you these gifts? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us this gift, the gift of speaking, the gift of talking, the gift of thinking, and all so many gifts Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us. Color the following al-muhyi, the Arabic word. So if you have the hard copy, you can color. For those students who have the hard copy, they can color that al-muhyi. Allah is the giver of life. Al-muhyi means Allah is the giver of life. And to that point, I think we have tried our best to explain this lesson, and inshallah next time we will continue with chapter 4. So we urge all our friends and Muslims to consider subscribing the channel, please, because it is a sort of motivation for us to continue these Islamic studies and other lessons. So we hope you will subscribe and share the clip, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. صومكم مقبول. رمضان مبارك. رمضان كريم إن شاء الله. تقبل الله منا ومنكم صالح الأعمال.